Varanasi, officially revived after 1947 but still widely known as Banaras or Benares, and in ancient times it was known as Kashi. This is the city on the Ganges River in northern India that has a central place in pilgrimage, death, and mourning in the Hindu world. Is located in the middle Ganges Valley in the southeastern part of the state of Uttar Pradesh. My friend will continue to speak about Varanasi, starting with its history.
Varanasi was founded by Shiva, one of the three principal deities along with Brahma and Vishnu. During a fight between Brahma and Shiva, one of Brahma's five heads was torn off by Shiva. As was the custom, the victor carried the slain adversary's head in his hand and let it hang down from his hand as an act of ignominy and a sign of his own bravery. A bridle was also put into the mouth. Shiva thus dishonored Brahma's head and kept it with him all times. When he came to the city of Varanasi in this state, the hanging head of Brahma dropped from Shiva's hand and disappeared into the ground. Varanasi is therefore considered an extremely holy site. Excavations in 2014 led to the discovery of artifacts dating back to 800 BCE. Further excavations at Akhta and Ramnagar, two sites in the vicinity of the city, unearthed artifacts dating back to 1800 BCE, supporting the views that the area was inhabited by this time.
Varanasi grew as an important industrial center, famous for its muslin and silk fabrics, perfumes, ivory works, and sculpture. During the time of Gautam Buddha, Varanasi was a part of the kingdom of Kashi. The Buddha is believed to have founded Buddhism here around 528 BC when he gave his first sermon, The Setting in Motion of the Wheel of Dharma, at nearby Sarnath. During the medieval ages, Varanasi remained a center of activity for intellectuals and theologians during the Middle Ages, which further contributed to its reputation as a cultural center of religion and education. Several major figures of the Bhakti movement were born in Varanasi, including Kabir, who was born here in 1389, and Ravidas, a 15th century socio religious reformer, mystic, poet, traveler, and a spiritual figure who was born and lived in the city and employed in the tannery industry.
Numerous eminent scholars and preachers visited the city from across India and South Asia. Guru Nanak visited Varanasi for Mahashivratri in 1507, a trip that played a large role in the founding of Sikhism. Varanasi experienced a Hindu cultural revival in the 16th century under the Mughal Emperor Akbar, who invested in the city and funded to build two large temples dedicated to Shiva and Vishnu. The earliest tourists began arriving in the city during the 16th century. In 1656, Emperor Aurangzeb ordered the destruction of many temples and the building of mosques, causing the city to experience a temporary setback. However, after Aurangzeb's death, most of India was ruled by the confederacy of pro-Hindu kings. Much of modern Varanasi was built during this time, especially during the 18th century. The kings governing Varanasi continued to wield power and importance through much of the British Raj period. The Kingdom of Benares was given official status by the Mughals in 1737. The kingdom started in this way and continued as a dynasty governed area until Indian independence in 1947. In the 18th century, Muhammad Shah ordered the construction of an observatory on the Ganges attached to the Man Mandir Ghat, designed to discover imperfections in the calendar in order to revise existing astronomical tables. Tourism in the city began to flourish in the 18th century. As the Mughal weakened, the Banaras Zamindari estate became Banaras state. Thus, Balwant Singh of the Narayan dynasty regained control of the territories and declared himself as the Maharaja of Banaras in 1740. The strong clan organization on which they rested brought success to the lesser known Hindu princes. There were as many as 100,000 men backing the power of the Banaras Rajas in what later became the district of Banaras, Gorakhpur, and Azamgarh.
Ganga Mahotsav. Mahotsav is a 5-day music festival organized by the Uttar Pradesh Tourism Department. Held in November December, it culminates a day before Kartik Purnima, also called the Ganges Festival. On this occasion, the Ganges is attended by thousands of pilgrims who release lighted lamps to float in the river from the ghats. Nag Nathya is celebrated on the fourth lunar day of the dark fortnight of the Hindu month of Kartik, which is October to November. It commemorates the victory of Krishna over the serpent Kaliya. On this occasion, a large Kadamba tree branch is planted on the banks of the Ganges so that a boy playing the role of Krishna can jump into the river onto the effigy representing Kaliya. He stands over the effigy in a dancing pose playing the flute while an audience watches from banks of the river or from
Many renowned Indian writers and poets have resided in this city, like Kabir Das, Ravi Das, and Tulsi Das, who wrote much of his Ramcharitmanas here in Varanasi. Also, Kalika Bhatt wrote the best known account of Manusmriti in Varanasi in the 15th century.
Varanasi's music tradition is traced to the Puranic days. According to ancient legend, Shiva is credited with evolving music and dance form during the medieval era. Vaishnavism, a bhakti movement, grew in popularity, and Varanasi became a thriving center for musicians such as Surdas, Kabirdas, Ravidas, Meera, and Tulsidas. During the monarchy rule of Govind Chandra in the 16th century, the Drupad style of singing received royal patronage and led to other related forms of music such as dhamar. Hori, and Chaturang. Presently, Drupad's master Pandit Ritvik Sanyal from Varanasi is working for the revival of this art music. In recent time, Girija Devi, the native famous classic singer of Thumirs, was widely appreciated and respected for her musical renderings. Varanasi is also associated with many great instrumentalists such as Bismillah Khan, Ravi Shankar, the famous sitar player and musicologist who was given the highest civilian award of the country, the Bharat Ratna. Varanasi has joined the global bandwagon of UNESCO Cities of Music under the Creative Cities Network.
Varanasi is a major center of arts and designs. It is a producer of silks and brocades with gold and silver threadwork, carpet weaving, wooden toys, bangles made of glass, ivory work, perfumes, artistic brass and copperware, and a variety of handicrafts. The cantonment graveyard of the British Raj is now the location of Varanasi's arts and craft. Notable artists, consisting of musicians, dancers, and historians who are connected with the city, include Thakur Jaidev Singh, Mahadev Prasad Mishra, Bismillah Khan, Ravi Shankar, Girja Devi, and many more.
Tourism is one of the most important industry in Varanasi. Domestic tourists most commonly visit for religious purposes. Most domestic tourists are from Bihar, West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh and other parts of Uttar Pradesh, while majority of the foreign tourists are from Sri Lanka and Japan.
Tourist places. Varanasi is one of the most prominent tourist places in India. This city attracts tourists from abroad. Varanasi is one of the oldest cities in the world and many tourist places can be found here. Some of them are the Ganges River. Named after the Hindu goddess Ganga, the Ganges River is one of the most reverted natural sites in India. The river extends southeast from the Himalayas in the north to the Bay of Bengal. Between 400 million and 600 million people rely on the Ganges River to provide water for daily bathing and drinking. Hindus come to Varanasi from all around the world to purify themselves in the holy Ganges water and perform rituals along the dozens of ghats along the river. For tourists, the river helps provide a fixed point of orientation for navigating around the city, and you will no doubt spend lots of time sightseeing and watching life happening around the Ganges. In the afternoon or early evening, one of the top things to do in Varanasi is purchase a small floating offering filled with fresh flour and a candle and release it into the Ganges River. This blissful experience will connect you more deeply with Hindu culture and stay in your mind for years to come. Dasashwamedh Ghat. The lively atmosphere of this ghat makes it one of the best places to visit in Varanasi. This tourist attraction is a swirling hodgepodge of flower sellers sprouting bright blossoms, boat operators hawking rides along the Ganges River, and sadhus with face paint. You can spend hours watching the people in this area. Hindu priests put on the Ganga Aarti every night at the Dasaswamedh Ghat starting at around 7 pm. Donning saffron hued robes, the priests spread out plates of flower petals and other offerings and blow a couch shell to signal the start of the spiritual ceremony. Thousands of tourists gather to watch the priests chant and wave tired plates of sandalwood scented incense in intricate patterns for about 45 minutes. It's an extravagant sight that you won't want to miss. The Meg Stupa. Hinduism certainly has a stronghold on Varanasi, but Buddhism also has a major place. Here, you will find the Dhammik Stupa, a massive stone and brick structure that's 43.6 meters tall and 28 meters in diameter. The stupa was built more than 1005 years ago as a replacement for the structure that dated back to 249 BCE. The devout believed that the Buddha came to Dhammik Stupa to give his first sermon, which revealed the Eightfold Path after he achieved enlightenment. Take a look at the elegant carvings of bird, people, and flowers that cover the wall of the stupa as you wander around the attraction.